All right, let's get into it. We're talking about one of the biggest hurdles for any new business, landing your very first 100 customers. It's that make or break milestone that can feel totally impossible, but I promise it's way more doable than you think. You just need the right playbook. So let's dive in.
So, have you ever felt like all that typical growth hacking advice just doesn't apply to you? Well, you're not alone. And you're probably right. This quote just nails it. The strategies that work for getting your 10,000th customer are completely useless when you're still fighting to get your first. And that's exactly why you have to adopt a totally different mindset. You see, the scaling mindset everyone's always talking about, it's all about automation, mass appeal, best practices. But the starter mindset, the one that actually gets you off the ground, it's about rolling up your sleeves and doing the manual work, finding a few true fans, and yeah, sometimes breaking all the rules. And that leads us right to the core principle of this whole explainer. For right now, I want you to forget everything you think you know about scale. Because when you're just starting out, being small and doing things that don't scale isn't a weakness. It's your secret superpower. So, what does do things that don't scale actually mean? Well, it's all about using those manual, high-touch, time-intensive methods to create a level of quality and love that no automated system could ever match. The classic example here is Airbnb. In their early days, the founders literally went door to door taking professional photos of their hosts' apartments themselves. I mean, that is completely unscalable, right? But it was the absolute key to their initial success. Look, theory is great, but let's talk about proof from the trenches. We're going to dive into some real-world, scrappy stories that show you exactly how this unscalable strategy actually works. First up, a company called Cloud Sushi. This was a delivery-only restaurant way before DoorDash was a thing, and their strategy was as direct and physical as it gets. They called it the floor-to-floor play. And check out how simple but effective this was. They'd pick a skyscraper to get customer density, and then just go floor by floor. They knew the office managers were the gatekeepers, so they'd walk right up to them, offer a totally free, no-commitment sample tray, and then ask a simple qualifying question like, hey, do you guys ever do office catering? No complex funnels, no A/B testing, just direct human action. And here's the biggest lesson from that story. You get to iterate so fast. This quote says it all. The pitch on floor 20 was way, way better than the one on floor 2. That's the kind of power you get from immediate real-world feedback, instead of just guessing from behind a screen. Okay, so let's pivot from a physical play to a digital one. This next example is from a roommate matching app that basically went viral using what they called the sticky content play. So how'd they do it? Their formula was honestly genius. They manually went through Yelp to find funny, hyper-local stereotypes for different city neighborhoods. Then they used that really specific humor to create content that totally resonated with these small niches. And here's the kicker. They tagged the local businesses they mentioned, which just poured gasoline on the fire and drove a ton of shares. And the result of this super manual, niche-focused content strategy, over 100,000 app users from just 5 city-specific infographics. It's just such a powerful reminder that focusing on deep engagement with a small group is so much more effective than trying to be everything to everyone. All right, let's explore another angle. Let's talk about some creative plays for growth that are all about manufacturing attention when you have absolutely none. Okay, this one is hands down my favorite. To launch his crypto newsletter, Milk Road, the founder used a strategy he calls the David Blaine method. And yes, it's named after the magician. Why? Because it's all about creating a spectacle that people just can't look away from. So here's how the magic trick worked. First, he put $1 million of his own money into a public crypto wallet, so literally anyone could see it. Then he made this huge, bold promise to try and turn it into $10 million. And finally, he documented the entire journey in public. Every win, every loss, creating this high-stakes reality show for the world to watch. So, why on earth did this work so well? Well, it taps into a really powerful human driver. This quote nails it. People will tune in to watch either an epic success or a spectacular failure, as long as the stakes are high enough. It creates a narrative that's just impossible to ignore. Okay, so those stories are super inspiring. But the big question is, how do you actually apply these ideas? So let's break this all down into an actionable framework that you can start using right away. You can think about the journey to your first 100 customers in 3 distinct phases. Phase 1, that's from 0 to your first 25 customers, is all about pure brute force manual work. Phase 2, getting you up to 75, is about finding leverage. And phase 3, that final push to 100 and beyond, is where you start to build real momentum.
Let's start with phase 1. This is the definition of unscalable, okay? Your first task is to manually build a list of 100 people who have the exact problem you solve. Then you find their contact info, one by one. After that, you reach out with a genuinely personalized message, no templates, and you offer to solve their problem, maybe even for free, just to get those first crucial proof points.
Now, once you have that small base, you enter the leverage phase. Here you shift from pure outreach to finding the online watering holes where your customers already hang out. Think subreddits, Discord servers, or Facebook groups. And your only job is to spend time there every single day providing value and helping people. And this is key, without pitching. That's how you build trust and eventually earn the right to borrow other people's audiences on niche podcasts or blogs. And finally, phase 3, momentum. By now, you've got happy customers and real success stories. It is time to weaponize them. You're going to turn those stories into case studies and social media content. You're going to set up a super simple referral program, and you're going to host small, intimate customer meetups. You are now building a flywheel that starts to spin all on its own.
So what does that momentum actually look like in the real world? Well, this chart from the HustleCon event series says it all. You see that massive jump in revenue from the first event to the third? That is what happens when you build a real business on top of an unscalable, love-filled foundation.
So, look, if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Being small is not a liability. Right now, it is your greatest advantage. You can give a level of personal service, and you can change your entire product overnight based on feedback in a way that no big, clunky company ever could. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Forget about 100 customers for a second. Just focus on one. What is one unscalable, manual, high-touch thing that you could do to absolutely delight one single customer tomorrow? Because that's where this whole journey really begins.